You like the color? It's okay. We were doubting between this one and yellow. I'm glad we decided for this one. Well, actually, she decided. Man, what a mess. I hope I can finish this today, so then tomorrow we can start cooking here. I really miss that cooking. Ever since she's gone, I had to learn things. I didn't know how to do simple house things. Cooking, cleaning, and I had to learn fast. I wasn't alone anymore. I couldn't stop with living. As they say, life goes on. I think about everything that happens. It happened for a reason. I really believe that. Nah, I'm not a religious type. I tried to, but it just didn't work for me. I had this talk once with a priest. He said God called her. It was her time. Really? It was her time? We were just getting started. We had it all. She was the most beautiful woman I ever saw. Yeah, I know. I know how that sounds, but if you love somebody, you just know. You want to be with that person forever. And she gave me that feeling. I just wanted to be around her. Every day. First time I saw her was after we both finished university, and we both applied for the same job at the same company. It was a rainy day. I remember that. The company had this strange way of hiring people. I went in and did my interview. And then they told me to wait downstairs. And when I saw her there, I saw about 50 other people sitting there. Just waiting. But I could only see her sitting there. And I thought, oh my God, she's beautiful. There was one seat behind her free. And I just sat down there, trying not to look like a stalker. Then, at some point, this guy came in and he hung up a paper. He turned around and said, "Here are the names. Congratulations. For the rest of you, thank you and good luck." So we all went up at the same time. And I saw her waiting a bit, so I decided to go stand next to her. And I asked, "Nervous?" I remember she looked at me. Big black pupils. "No," she said. So we walked up there, and yes, like faith was kicking in, my name was there, almost on top. I turned around and I saw her with a big smile, and I knew her name was there too. Before I knew it, I heard myself saying, "You want to take a drink to celebrate or something?" Well, as they also say, the rest is history, right? Anyway, we started the same day in the same office. It was one of those companies that controls the financial regulations of other companies. It paid enough for both of us to rent a good apartment, and so we lived together. I got promoted after a few months because somehow they found out I like numbers. And I do. I could basically almost predict when companies went for bankruptcy or when they needed more cash flow. Yes, I know these things will kill you. It's just one of those bad things I induce myself with. I gave up drinking after that day. Don't touch it anymore. You know, before we did drink and smoke weed and things like that. But in that time, I already noticed something was not right with her. Something strange, and I didn't know what to do with that. I mean, we basically had it. The life, a house, a job, and each other's money. And we knew she was up for promotion, so more money would come in. It was looking good. I remember one day in the kitchen, she told me she wanted to talk to me. I said, okay, and prepared myself for the worst. I want to have a baby, she said. Just like that. Baby, right now. I didn't know what to say. I just said okay. And then she jumped in my arms and she whispered in my ears, let's start now. Well, I'm not stupid. And we just ran to the bedroom. So, almost finished this part. Cool, I think I can do it all today. So, a baby. Well, let me tell you this. After 3 months fucking each other's brains out, she was still not pregnant. She wanted me to go see a doctor to see if something was wrong with me. With me! I remember telling her, listen, we both go, we both will get tested, and then we'll see. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe. Just maybe we should have stopped there. You know, by that time she was getting more and more desperate and agitated. And I knew if there was a problem, it would be medical with one of us. Oh man, I didn't want to think of that. What could have happened? Well, she made the appointment. We went over it. We both did the test. And then we had to wait. I think it was about 3 weeks or so. Then we had to go back again to hear the results. Now, I don't know if she had a sixth sense or something like that, but she was right. The doctor told me in my face that the quality of sperm was not high enough. And I remember he was telling me this almost like, dude, you're not a man. And I heard her voice next to me, asking the doctor if we could do something. I don't remember exactly what he told her anymore. It was a long time ago. But I do remember he mentioned maybe adoption. We went home and we didn't speak about it for 2 weeks. And all of a sudden she came up with the idea of adoption. I, myself, never thought of that option. To be honest, I was still thinking I was not man enough to do it myself. But she was great. She never said anything about that. Once, she just said, listen, honey, this is nature. So be it. She was not mad at me, or even disappointed for her. This was just a sign to do it. Another way. For her. This was just a little setback for something she wanted. A baby. And I knew she would not stop with this. So we got ourselves informed about adoption. By that time, she was determined. Well, I can tell it's not that easy. I will spare you the details, but we were too young. Didn't have enough money and so on. But she never gave up. And then one day we got this call from some kind of center. They were taking care of babies. Babies whose parents are not willing or fit or something like that. I don't remember exactly. We went over, and in the car she looked at me and said, "Today is the day. I can feel it. Today." To make a long story short, we adopted a baby of a young mother who gave her up for whatever reason. We didn't know, and to tell the truth, we didn't want to know. We had to sign some papers, a lot of papers, and we went home, basically not realizing we were parents now. And so, as you all know, things change when you have a kid. We both decided that she would take unpaid leave for 6 months. And that was nothing about because I'm a man. Yeah, right. The man. My salary was better and I was up again for a big promotion. And we didn't want to lose that. More money was coming in. And as you also know, babies are expensive. And so we did everything perfectly again. But for the three of us. A little baby boy. Well, after all this, it became natural. And no matter how many times you told us, adoption did not exist in our world. He was ours, and ours alone. We were all happy until that day. I told you before, I do believe things happen for a reason. I just can't explain this one. No reason. No reason at all for this. On that day, we were both working for the first time again. They gave me my promotion about 2 weeks ago. I was now in charge for the cash flows of supermarkets and hotels. Basically, if a supermarket or hotel would run out of cash, our system could predict that on a 98% accuracy. The banks would bring us that money, and we would keep it here, safe, until they would pick it up when they need it. Most of the times it was not a lot. But one day in the month, usually on Friday, it was a lot. They all needed more cash for the weekends. We were not a real bank, just something like a transition station. Therefore, we didn't have big-time security, and we didn't need it. I think nobody knew what we were doing there. But anyway, going back to that day Friday, I was upstairs and she was working downstairs. Then suddenly a lot of screaming came from downstairs, and I could see somebody set off the silent alarm. And I knew, this is it. I wanted to go downstairs, but I knew with the silent alarm on, it would block the elevator. I had to sit there, and I could do nothing. Nothing. Later, the police told me that this guy came in with a rifle and started screaming. He said they all do that to bring fear, so people won't do stupid things. He told me he took my wife to the safe, and she had to fill the bags with all the money. And when she was finished, he took her in front of all the others, and he just hit her with the rifle on the back of her head. The blow to her head was so hard she went into a coma for 6 months. And then she died. Later, some kind of lawyer of the company told me that they could not prove that she died directly related to that blow. So in other words, the guy who did it, he was only sentenced for armed robbery. But by that time, I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about anything anymore. Only one thing was important to me. Our baby. When we buried her, I made a pledge to myself to keep on living, to give him the best life ever. And basically, that's what I've been doing for the last 16, almost 17 years now. And he turned out great. We moved smaller, but cheaper. So that's cool, because his school, a lot of money, I can tell you that. First, he didn't want to move or change schools, those things. So I told him, look, come with me, check out this apartment, and we decide together. So what happened? We come here. I don't like it, he says. It's too small. Then there he is, right there. In this kitchen, he looks outside that window over there, and he says, Dad, look. I know her. Who? I say. I look there, and he points up, and there I see a beautiful young girl, standing, between a lot of red roses on her balcony. I know her, he said. She's in my school. I think she is one class higher than me. You know what, Dad? It's okay. What's okay, I say? This flat. It's okay. We can do this. And so we did. And now we're here. It's gonna be okay. My son, our son, starts to have interest in girls. He has a good taste. Because I have to admit, she is beautiful. And kind of makes me wonder how the mother would look.